AVDA was founded in 1980 by a group of dedicated volunteers from Houston's faith community as a response to newly enacted laws that criminalized domestic violence in Texas. Prior to 1980, a battered woman, or man for that matter, had little access to information on legal rights or to the services of an attorney. AVDA was founded to serve as a resource for the thousands of battered women that shelters could not serve, providing free legal representation on family law matters. It wasn't until 1989 that AVDA added battering intervention to the agency's services to help batterers end their abusive behavior. The AVDA mission is to stop family violence. We help victims achieve safety and self-sufficiency. We believe that no victim should be forced to remain in an abusive relationship because of a lack of resources. We also know that we must significantly impact the batterer, who will simply move on to create another victim if the cycle of violence isn't broken. That's why AVDA has the largest battering intervention and prevention program in the greater Houston area, to help batterers recognize, take accountability for, and stop their abuse. We need your support to reach more families trapped in the cycle of violence. AVDA is one of very few legal aid agencies across the nation exclusively dedicated to serving domestic violence victims. We've provided free legal representation to nearly 100,000 victims of abuse. We also provide life-saving services to help them escape the violence and live safe, productive lives. We collaborate with other agencies to enhance victim services and to bring about systemic change to help end abuse. Our battering intervention and prevention program is the first to become accredited in Texas, and our dual approach of serving both the victim and abuser has been proven to be a winning combination. AVDA's effectiveness is due in large part to our uniqueness. No other agency in our community does what we do: provide a legal staff dedicated to victims of domestic abuse and a cutting-edge battering intervention program for reaching batterers. Our commitment to victim safety is the cornerstone of our work. For over 30 years, we've fostered collaborations and systems changes that truly meet the needs of victims of abuse and that hold batterers accountable. We've worked on both the local and statewide levels to bring about legislation that addresses the issues our victims and their families face. AVDA collects and analyzes data to ensure that our clients' needs are being met and to ensure we meet our funders' expectations. Client surveys consistently reflect an increase in safety and peace of mind. I'm proud to report that our audit marks are consistently high for both our legal advocacy and battering intervention programs. These audits survey clients, their families, and community partners. 80% of our battering intervention clients were violence-free a year and a half after completing the program. This was based on a 6-year study by the Centers for Disease Control. That's a tremendously encouraging measure of effectiveness. In a community as diverse as Houston, some still believe family abuse impacts only the poor, the uneducated, or people of color. Domestic abuse affects everyone, regardless of gender, color, financial status, religion, or age. A healthy, happy family is a beautiful thing, and AVDA supports healthy families. But abuse is the sole responsibility of the abuser, and sometimes the only solution is for the victim to flee the relationship. AVDA supports victims in becoming survivors through legal services, empowerment, and support. We also support batterers in change through education and an insistence upon accountability. AVDA has a rich history of accomplishments. We were instrumental in the creation of the Houston Police Department Family Violence Unit and the Family Criminal Law Division of the Harris County District Attorney's Office. We also helped establish the county's first domestic violence court. With our dedicated protective order teams, we continue to be one of the largest providers of protective orders in the county, second only to the DA's office. AVDA was also a key partner in statewide coalition efforts to bring about legislation that created standards for battering intervention programs, and became the first program of its kind in the state to receive full accreditation. Despite misunderstandings about the dynamics of domestic violence, abuse is a choice of the abuser, while the victim often has no choice and no voice. We seek to be that voice for victims of abuse. We can only do so with funding to continue our work. Historically, our organization has relied far too heavily on government funds to sustain our work. Because of the increasing lack of state and federal funding, it's only with private donations that we will be able to maintain stability and continue to grow. The national and local economies have gone through challenges in recent years. While AVDA has remained stable, our ability to grow to comprehensively respond to the needs of our clients have been challenged as well. Additional resources will allow us to increase our capacity and scope. We will provide legal help for the working poor, those who make too much to qualify for government assistance, but not enough to secure their own legal representation. Additional funding would allow us to provide this help, plus life-changing counseling and other supportive services for victims of abuse and their children. In addition to providing legal aid to the working poor, AVDA hopes to offer a much greater continuum of care for our families. We hope to reach our more underserved communities with legal representation for victims and battering intervention for abusers. We hope to increase our intervention for at-risk youth and to provide parenting classes to educate about the impact of domestic violence on our children. Also, we must increase our counseling efforts to help our families heal. We believe that everyone in our community deserves a life free from domestic violence.